Imagine, so Muslims are also waiting for the second coming of Jesus. All right? Our Christian friends will be surprised. Really? You guys are waiting for Jesus? Yes, we are. So in Damascus, there are Christians too there. So in front of Jesus, when he descends, imagine if there is a big church out there, and next to the church is a mosque, a masjid. And the masjid door is open, and the door of the church is open, and Jesus is standing in the front, and he can see inside the church. He can see inside the mosque. He can see people coming in the masjid and in the church. Now he has to decide, should he go in the church or should he go in the mosque? Where would he go, right?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahilladzi arsala rasulahu bil huda wa dinil haqq liyuzhirahu 'ala dini kullihi wa kafa billahi syahida. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu la nabiyya ba'da. Berjumpa lagi dengan channel saya Mars Techno. Saya doakan semoga semua sahabat dalam keadaan sehat selalu. Pada video kali ini kami akan menampilkan bagaimana usaha dakwah seorang Sabel Ahmad. Beliau adalah salah seorang murid dari Dr. Zakir Naik yang memang reputasinya sudah tidak kita ragukan lagi. Nah sahabat, mari kita saksikan saja video selengkapnya dan saya akan sedikit mereaksinya.
I was going to do a thought experiment quickly.
Yeah, let me hear that.
All right. So imagine, so Muslims are also waiting for the second coming of Jesus. All right. Our Christian friends will be surprised. Really? You guys are waiting for Jesus? Yes, we are. But when he comes back, he's not coming back as a new prophet with a new revelation. He will come back as a Muslim the way that he was in the first coming. All right. So here is the thought experiment. Okay. Imagine now Jesus descends. Okay. Like in Damascus. All right. So in Damascus, there are Christians too there. So in front of Jesus, when he descends, imagine if there is a big church out there, and next to the church is a mosque, a masjid. And the masjid door is open, and the door of the church is open, and Jesus is standing in the front, and he can see inside the church. He can see inside the mosque. He can see people coming in the masjid and in the church. Now he has to decide, should he go in the church or should he go in the mosque? Where would he go, right? First and foremost, when he will see Muslims going inside the mosque, Muslim males, they would have a beard. And he would know, you know what? I have a beard. All the prophets used to have a beard. These people, they look like me. I can connect with them. When he sees the Christians going inside the church, they're all clean shaved, right? So that's one way he can connect with the Muslims. Second thing is, when he see the two Muslims saying Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you, he can recall right away, you know what? That is my greeting that I used to give to my disciples. The Bible says in John chapter 20 verse number 19 and so forth. When you see the Christians meeting each other, they can have so many variations of greeting, but not universally peace be upon you. So Jesus, when he sees the Muslims, he can say, I can connect with the Muslims. When he goes inside, or when he sees inside the church, he will see, you know what, this statue of Jesus on the cross, and people worshipping God through a mediator. Then when he sees inside the masjid, he sees that people are worshipping without any mediator. He can then say, you know what? I instructed my followers to pray directly to God. As you mentioned the Lord's Prayer, correct? In the Lord's Prayer, there is no mention of people should be going through the mediator. Muslims are worshipping God directly. So that itself, Jesus will say, you know what? I can connect with the mosque and with the Muslims. Then when he's going to see the Muslims actually praying, they stand up, they bow down, and then they prostrate. In the Christian church, he's going to see people then jumping and dancing and rolling, right, and music and piano out there. He will say, I never preached like that.
Never.
I never prayed like that. I never taught my disciples to pray like that. But when he sees inside the masjid, people are lining, and then they're praying to one God, the way that he used to worship. Then they're also prostrating in the prayer. And he will recall, you know what? I used to pray exactly the same to my Creator. He will connect with the Muslims. Then imagine if it's the month of fasting. When he sees the people, they say that they are fasting like people of the church, but they were on the break time. Now they went and they are eating. All of them are eating, right? Then he will say, you know what, my fasting was never like that. Then when he sees the Muslims, they're not eating anything, not drinking anything, right? He will say, these are my people. When he used to say women going inside the masjid compared to women going inside the church, women in the church, as they go inside, they're not wearing any head covering usually. Women of the masjid, they're going inside hijab.
They're dressed like his mother. Whatever you have on Google of his mother, she's wearing the hijab. They're not going into the mosque with miniskirts.
Yeah. So then he will say, you know what? They are dressing like my mother, Mary, with the hijab, modesty, decency. He will say, you know what? These are my people. Then when he finds out, Christians are not circumcised, the Christian males, and then he finds out that Muslim males are circumcised. And Jesus, you will think, you know what? I was circumcised when I was young, 8 days of age, according to Matthew. He will say, these are my people.
He was circumcised also.
Yes, he was circumcised.
That's a whole other question. God being circumcised doesn't make no sense.
Different topic, right?
Different topic,
One day
yeah.
we can do that.
Yeah.
But the most important thing, Brother Eddie, when he sees inside the church compared to in the masjid, he will see, you know what? People are praying to Trinity. They are taking him to be God, Son of God, when he said, I'm only a prophet. But when he sees inside the masjid, steps inside the masjid, he will say, see, they're only worshipping the one creator. The way that Jesus, that I used to worship, he will say.
Wow.
Right? So every single way, so if in this thought experiment, he will go in the masjid. He will pray with the Muslims. He will connect with the Muslims. So any which way that we dissect, right? From the Bible, from the Quran, from history, from the life of Jesus, from his practice, from his preaching, he was a Muslim.
Selesai. Semoga bermanfaat. Terima kasih telah menonton video sampai selesai. Mohon maaf jika ada terjemahan yang kurang tepat. Dukung channel ini dengan like, subscribe, dan share. Masya Allah, sebuah video yang sangat menarik dari penjelasan Dr. Sabil Ahmad yang kali ini berkolaborasi dengan Bro Edi yang mempunyai channel YouTube sendiri yaitu The Din Show. Pada episode ini Bro Edi mewawancarai Dr. Sabil Ahmad tentang kedatangan Yesus yang kedua. Diungkapkan oleh Dr. Sabil Ahmad bahwa kita umat Islam menantikan juga kehadiran yang kedua dari Yesus Kristus, ataupun dalam Islam disebutkan sebagai Isa Al-Masih. Dan ini tentunya mengherankan juga bagi orang Kristen, mengapa umat Islam menantikan Yesus Kristus. Namun pada kehadiran yang kedua ini, beliau tidaklah sebagai seorang nabi ataupun membawa wahyu yang baru. Dijelaskan beberapa alasan oleh Dr. Sabil Ahmad yang masuk akal. Apakah saat turun yang keduanya Nabi Isa atau Yesus Kristus ini akan memasuki masjid atau akan memasuki gereja? Di masjid mereka melihat laki-lakinya berpakaian rapih dan juga memakai jenggot. Dan ini pun sama dengan Nabi Isa. Dan semua nabi pun memakai jenggot. Berlainan dengan orang Kristen yang saat ke gereja ataupun umumnya mencukur habis jenggotnya. Dikatakan lain juga saat menemui wanita muslim, dia teringat kepada ibunya yang juga memakai hijab. Hal ini jauh berbeda dengan wanita Kristen. Nah sahabat, mungkin itu saja sedikit video reaksi dari saya. Mudah-mudahan bermanfaat. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.